of the morning. It is 8:08 and we are going to be talking with Saeed Abdalla. He is a Sudanese journalist, obviously based in Sudan. I should imagine in Khartoum, but he will correct us if that's not where he is based. We're going to be talking about the latest events unfolding in Sudan. They have been at war, civil war, over the past 2 years, and now we also understand that they have been plunged into darkness, and most army controlled areas in Sudan have been plagued by this blackout. This was due to a drone attack on power generation facilities by the PRS forces. And obviously, it's not a good situation whatsoever. Millions of people have been affected by this current development. Let's cross over to Saeed Abdalla and find out exactly when and where the drone attack took place. We also understand that engineers are hard at work trying to get power back in the affected areas. But of course, Saeed Abdalla is on the ground and he will be able to tell us if there is good news regarding this matter. Saeed Abdalla, assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program. I have indicated that you are based in Khartoum, but I could be wrong.
Alaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me. In fact, I'm here in Joburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Johannesburg?
Home is Khartoum. I'm working as a journalist in South Africa.
Okay.
And Khartoum is my home. And yeah, I've been following a lot the news and the development on the ground. And what we can see at the moment, after last week, the Al Jazeera state, which is located in the middle of Sudan, was under control of the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces. Then the military, the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, gained back the city, and I mean like the state and the main city in the state, which is Wad Madani, and they bring it back to their control. And after that, I think we saw more atrocities, especially from the RSF towards some of the critical infrastructure like water, like electricity in different cities. And that's been going on for a few days, where we can find on different cities, like people they live without electricity. We saw like a long queue for water, and there's lack of services. So there's the situation on the ground at the moment. It's very severe for the Sudanese people, especially after this recent attack. And unfortunately, the process of fixing this critical infrastructure is taking a bit longer. And as well as like what we can see at the moment is like it's more atrocities is going to happen after after the recent statement of the Rapid Support Forces that are going to come back and to fight back and to attack certain cities under the control of the armed forces. So yeah, the situation is only getting worse at the moment.
We understand that human rights lawyers have also expressed deep concern around this situation. They are saying that the electricity and power disruption has impacted hospitals, schools, and the water facilities, which obviously threatens all of the people of Sudan. And this is now creating a very serious humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, indeed. The conflict in Sudan has caused extensive damage to critical infrastructure, as you mentioned, including healthcare, water, and power. The destruction has also impacted the agriculture sector and the economy itself. So the war in Sudan has destroyed the country's public infrastructure, including the health system, and according to the WHO, they verified at least 119 attacks on healthcare between just like during between April 2023 till October 2024. And but according to the people on the ground, these the true figure is likely much higher than this. And we know the Sudanese healthcare system is suffering also as well from an acute lack of staff, because after the war erupted, a lot of doctors they left the country, and a lot of like health staff, they are no longer there, especially in the conflict zones. And there's lack of staff, lack of funding, lack of medical supplies, in addition to repeated attacks, and there's also looting and occupation of medical facilities and hospitals. So and we saw also these diseases are taking a deadly toll, like cholera and like others as well. Are not like in different areas in Sudan, and also with high rates also for malnutrition and the famine as well in different areas, disease outbreaks. This also we expected this is going to continue and to have a catastrophic impact, but particularly for children now. And this is from healthcare, like, and now with the power itself, and talk about the electricity, there is no national grid. We saw that the power infrastructure is only developed around some urban centers, and there's a need to restore access to electricity. I've got some relatives, they've been in Khartoum for now like almost 2 years after the war started, and they've been like out of electricity for months now, like especially in the areas under the RSF control. As I mentioned earlier as well, the agriculture sector has been devastated as well, with millions of Sudanese face acute food insecurity. And if we talk about the economy itself, the conflict has accused and estimated, that was last year, I think, about 15 billion in economic losses, and the economy faces significant challenges in recovery. So all these factors have like created a difficult situation for the Sudanese people who live on the ground, and it's not only on the conflict areas, also in other areas you find the Sudanese people are facing like difficulties just to live the normal life because of difficulty in access to the basic services.
Of course, it's going to be a huge impact regarding this displacement of people. But let's go for an ad break. And when we get back, I'd like you, for the benefit of people who don't understand the current situation in Sudan, the politics that's playing out, the war, etc., to give us context. How did this start? Who are the two forces? We know it's the military and the RSF. How did this all start up? And is there a light at the end of the tunnel? All of that and much, much more right after our first ad break of the morning.
Stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of poverty. Penny Appeal South Africa's Breakfast Club aims to get a warm, hearty meal to underprivileged children so they can spend their day prospering in their schoolwork. Help feed a needy learner for only 5 Rand a day or 150 Rand a month. Or visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Valley's Motor Spares. We supply motor spares and accessories for all makes and models of motor cars, LDVs, buckies, trucks, and earth-moving equipment. We deliver on time, every time. Please contact us via WhatsApp on 014-592-0925 or call 014-592-0925 or visit 28 Zenderling Street, Rustenburg. Remember the name, Valley's Motor Spares.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It is exactly 20 after 8 o'clock on News and Views this Tuesday morning with me, Julie Ali. Our first guest is Saeed Abdalla. He is a Sudanese journalist based in Johannesburg, and we're talking about the conflict, the ongoing conflict in Sudan. I left you with a question before the ad break, and that was for you to outline the roles of the Sudanese armed forces and, of course, the rapid support forces in this ongoing conflict. When, how did this start? And do you believe at some point soon that there could be some sort of a compromise? How are you, the Sudanese people on the ground, seeing this, and hopefully that peace will eventually prevail?
Julie, to respond to your first part of the question, the conflict in Sudan is deeply rooted in political instability, and that following the 2021 coup led by the Sudanese army and the RSF together, which is the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary, and they were together, led a coup in October 2021, and that ousted civilian leaderships. The two factions, they were allies. Then after they took led the coup, have since turned against each other. And that's sparking a civil war in April 2023. So, which a year and a half after the coup. So the war has devastated the country, leading to widespread displacement, hunger, and violence against the civilian. And the war started in the capital city, which is Khartoum, and then Darfur. Then it spread to different areas of the country. And as I mentioned, led to a negative impact and a catastrophic impact for the Sudanese people, both on the ground and the one who left the conflict zone. But now, if to answer the second part of your question, if there's any hope to find a solution and a last peace solution for at the moment, I think it's still difficult to reach to that point. With this now, both factions are not they resisting the peace talk mediation led by the Saudi and the US as well, and only if we can find a unified and uh, and, and and a pressure from the international community for both parties, and just try to engage with not only with these two factions, but also with the country that are backing these two factions, I mean the regional players. Then we can get to a point where we can find like to get to a ceasefire, and then to embark on a political path that can just lead to to a lasting solution. But for the moment, I don't see these conditions are on place, and I think the international efforts now, it might the international eye, it might turn to Sudan after the ceasefire has been reached on Gaza. I think now Sudan, it becomes a trend, and it becomes a hot issue for the international community, and hopefully soon we'll get to that point where we can start to talk about what kind of solution, how to create that solution. And I think only if you bring the key players on the Sudanese political scene and the regional players all together, and then we can start to find a light that I think all the Sudanese people are waiting to see, and are longing to go back to their homes safely. And yeah, so for now, I think it's a bit difficult, but we hopefully that's going to be soon.
Okay, so you talk about obviously international players. We need to look at this because it's going to have an impact, positive or possibly positive and negative, when it comes to the point where Sudan or international players try to work with the Sudanese people or the two factions to come to some sort of a peaceful resolution, if it gets to that, and we hope and pray it does. So let's first look at regional stability, your immediate neighbors. How is this current conflict impacting on them? Question number one. Question number two, let's look at global concerns, the role of the international actors, community, international leaders and countries, including arms supplies, and this is very, very important, arms supplies and the mediators in the conflict.
So to answer your first part of the question, and as we know now, Sudan is the world's largest and fastest displacement crisis. And the war in Sudan has created extreme levels of displacement, both internally and across Sudan's borders. So more than 11.4 million people are now displaced within the country, and over 3 million people, mostly women and children, have fled Sudan to neighboring countries. So while neighboring countries like Chad, South Sudan have welcomed Sudanese refugees fleeing conflict, they do not have the resources to meet the urgent humanitarian needs of those arriving across the border without international support. We all remember before the war erupted in April 2023, Sudan already was a home for a lot of refugees from most of these countries, and now after the war, now these people are going back to their country, and also more Sudanese people are fleeing to these countries. But these countries, they don't have the facilities to just to service those refugees. Then food security experts confirm the existence of famine in the Zamzam camp for internally displaced people during last year. I think about 750,000 people across Sudan face catastrophic food insecurity, and that's according some of international organizations. And these numbers means that death by starvation is now it becomes a daily occurrence in a lot of areas in Sudan. And a hunger crisis of major proportions is not a future concern. It's already a present now. and reality. It's and it becomes a reality in parts of the country. So now with this situation, now this is all, of course, is going to spread to the other neighboring countries. It's going to affect the region itself, and especially if we can, with the difficulties of aid delivery, and with the difficulties of that's this lack of aid as well, and with the atrocities and with the war keeping going on. It's just only going to exacerbate, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Then, to answer the second part of your question, I think now it's you mentioned the regional players, and you mentioned that there are some countries in the region that are backing both factions now, as we know, and the Sudanese armed forces are accusing the UAE for backing the RSF and supporting them with the arms, and with the some help, I think, through neighboring countries. And the RSF.
Can I just interrupt you there? We are running out of time, so we can just speed it up. But what do you believe the UAE would gain by supplying Sudan or one of the factions with arms?
I think it's this is not, because like some of the claim of the Sudanese armed forces are not confirmed yet. You cannot fact check on the ground, but from what we can see, these regional players, whether it's the UAE, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Russia, whether it's Iran, they all look at the interest in Sudan. We know, like, Sudan is a rich country when it comes to mining, when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to like other natural resources, as well as like this an Islamist factions inside Sudan. There's different factions as well when we talk about the players, the key players in Sudan. So every one of these key regional players, they are trying to get to that resources by ensuring their allies inside Sudan are going to be part of the policymakers in Sudan, and it's going to be part of the government. So that's why, like, I think every part of this regional place, they are trying to look at their interest in the country.
So simplistically put, there's no such a thing as a free lunch. Whichever country comes to support either one of the parties, it's about what's in it for them. And that is bilateral trade agreements, mining rights, and everything else that goes with it. My closing question then would be, who is responsible for these, for having deployed these drones and has created such havoc in Sudan, bringing the country already, which is in deep conflict, almost to a standstill?
So we this is one of the things that we saw in Sudanese war. This is like new kind of drones, like the one called CH-95 drones, and different kind of drones. Now we saw it on the ground. It's made in different countries, and it's been used especially by the RSF and the some would say the government as well. So this kind of drones, it's a new thing, and it's a new thing for the warfare in Sudan. And as I mentioned earlier, what the Sudanese government saying, these drones used by the RSF are being assembled in the UAE and launched from Chad near the Sudanese border. And this for me, it's from the starting of this war, the government have been accused. Is always accusing the UAE of supporting the RSF, and this can you can for some part of the you can fact check this, and some of the incidents you cannot like confirm. But the use of drone now is affecting the people life, and it's getting all as we mentioned earlier, of the infrastructure and water, power, etc. So I think, and this only highlight the complex geopolitical tension in Sudan as well, where both national and international actors have vested interests and accusation. And I think this accusation, you can because now both factions are using this drones, and I think it's used way more from the RSF, and I think they're using this new technologies a lot now in Sudan, and it's only make the people life worse.
Saeed Abdalla, a Sudanese journalist based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you indeed for the insights, your insights on the current situation in Sudan. Thank you, and all the very best. Our du'as are with the people of Sudan, inshallah. Go well. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Alaikum salam. Shukran.
8:34 News and Views moving along. Time for another ad break, and when we get back, we'll be talking some more with our guests that have been lined up to bring you everything that is making headline news, not only in South Africa, but all around the world.